All right, guys, welcome to episode number 53 of the Conquer Me podcast. Today, we're going to jam on breaking the cycle. We're going to talk about breaking the cycle. We're going to talk about generational curses, how this stuff comes about, how it holds us back in our family lineage, and it kind of just continues on and on and on and on unless we decide to break the cycle. Now, I want to be clear that everybody has these patterns in our lives, right? They've been established by previous generations, or they've been established by us earlier in our lives. Maybe it's a way of thinking, it's an addiction, it's some other behavior that just keeps us hung up. It's a cycle that just keeps running over and over and over, and it's keeping us from realizing our full potential. Now, we have to be the one, right? If we're going to break this cycle, we have to decide to be the one that's going to break this cycle so that it will not continue through our family bloodline. And when this happens, like you guys have seen this, right? You know someone that's addiction runs very heavily in their family, and it's almost like a curse. It just happens over and over. The grandpa drank, and the dad drank, and the son drank, and then their kids drank or use drugs or whatever the thing is. These curses or cycles can and must be broken, but it takes a very intentional effort. And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, is how to be intentional about breaking the cycle. Understanding that there is a cycle, that there is something happening in your life. In my experience, it was a long history of substance abuse, chaos, poor health, a belief system of that we're not deserving because of my past, I'm not good enough, welfare mentality, all these types of things is what I saw personally in my life. And these are cycles. There's cycles of poverty. There's cycles of addiction. There's cycles of non-belief in ourselves. There's cycles of feeling like we're not good enough and feeling inadequate. There's cycles of really low self-esteem, right? So maybe you can relate to this. Really think about your life. Do you have patterns or cycles in your life? Maybe it's just living up to the status quo and not really wanting to do anything above and beyond, never taking any risks, never really putting yourself out there. But inside of your soul, there's something screaming for more. There's something telling you that you're supposed to go for it. There's something telling you that what you've been doing right now is just not it. It's just not enough. It's not what you're called for. It's not tapping into your potential. It's the absolute bare minimum. It's lukewarm. And if you feel that inside of you, you just might be the one. And the one is the person that has been chosen to break this cycle. And guys, any of us can be the one. It's just a decision. It's a decision, and it is a commitment to taking some action to break this cycle. Now, maybe for your family, it's been past generations of people being overweight and unhealthy. It's just been kind of accepted that, hey, this is just the way it is. This is how our family is. This is just everybody in my family is overweight. But you see the consequences of this, and you see what a detriment this is to your family lineage and to your kids. And there's something burning inside of you to change the health of your future generations. Okay, maybe it's your family has always struggled financially. They've always been broke, right? And they make decisions based on money, not based on values or desires. They're always checking the price. They can't do things they really want to do. They can't help. They can't give. They can't serve because they can't even pay their own bills, right? And so it's like you feel called to change that. There's got to be more to this life than struggling and trying to make it by and always having more month than money. And you just feel inside of your soul that like, hey, it's up to me to break this cycle. All right, so regardless of what these cycles are, if we're not careful and we don't disrupt them, we're going to pass them to our children's children. And as you guys know, this will continue to go on down the line for generations and generations. I can remember my life as a kid being a little bit rough growing up, chaotic, stressful. I would look at others and just think like, I'll never be like this. I don't understand this, right? It's very hard for me to understand. But then, like, I would think about the chaos and go, man, I'm never gonna create that in my family, right? Like, I want to do better. I don't want to do drugs, and I don't want to drink alcohol, and I don't want to, have all this negativity. But then guess what happened? I ended up following the exact same path. I went down the exact same road. I did exactly what I hated, right? And so, guys, I want you to understand this is very, very powerful. Even though I didn't want to do that, even though I felt the pain that those things caused, just not having structure, not having a lot of, just a lot of disorder, and remembering the feelings of insecurity and like kind of not knowing what's going to happen next, I thought I'll never do this. But it's like I couldn't help it. It was just destined for me. It was just what was supposed to happen. It felt like at that time, and I went down that path. So maybe you're feeling that way about your life. There's a desire to change for your future generations, but you just don't really know how. And I just want you to know, guys, there's hope. If you're feeling that in your heart, if you're feeling that this is, you are the one, there's hope. Okay, I believe there are chosen ones in every single family generation. We've been chosen by God to really change the trajectory of our bloodlines for the better. We've got to answer the call, though, right? If you've been identified as the one, a person who is not satisfied with the status quo, they don't like how people associate their name with certain ideas or labels, they're not happy with the type of legacy or lack thereof that they're going to leave behind, right? We all know certain families that are known for certain things. Oh, well, that they're all into drugs. And that family, they're always in trouble with the law. And that family, they're always in a financial mess. And that family, they have very bad temper and they're very angry. You can see clear, consistent patterns in their lives, which is why I personally believe that these patterns are caused by a mix of belief systems. And in many cases, it's actually spiritual war. It's curses that are on this family. And I won't get super spiritual with you, but I do have a very strong belief system that over time and over life, we open ourselves up to certain things and to certain curses, and we can be bound by those things, and we can be trapped, and it's very hard to get out unless we have a level of awareness to understand that it is that, and that we do need to do something about it. And that if we don't, we'll be stuck in bondage. It's affecting the way that we think and how we show up. It's a curse, right? When you think about it, when you think about what a curse would be like, it's like you're almost in a trance. You don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. You just can't help it, right? You find yourself in really tough situations that are destructive. But you feel a deep calling to change that. That's the key, guys. If you're listening to this right now, you could be the one. And if you are the one, here's where we go from here. First, I would thank God that you've been chosen for this mission to be the one that breaks this cycle. Okay, you can be the one that can finally change this for your family and for future generations, right? I feel like I'm the one in my family. Now, I've got other people in my family. My sister's doing great, and I've got other folks that came from where I came from, and they're doing great. And in their eyes, they see themselves maybe as the one. But for me, I can totally feel inside of my soul that I am supposed to change the entire direction of my family name in terms of no more poverty, no more addiction, no more of any of these things that my family may have been known for. And if it continued on, we would definitely be known for, right? So I've got to accept the calling. And when this kind of happens, you got a decision to make. You can go, hey, oh yeah, that's great, but this is just the way it is. This is just my family. This is how we are. This is how it's always been. Or you can say, you know what? I'm willing to accept the call, and I'm prepared to do what's next. You have to decide that you are, in fact, the one. You have to let that resonate deep, and you've got to be willing to do at that point whatever's necessary. Okay, now I realize this can be a little bit overwhelming, right? Like, oh man, all my future generations, children's, our whole legacy and our name is on us, and that's it, right? That's, in my eyes, that is it. But trust me, the answers will show up as you show up. Okay, as long as you're obedient to the call, the answers will always show up. That's just the way it works. Anytime in my life where I felt called to do something that I didn't have the skill sets, I didn't have the resources, nothing really seemed to make sense, I just suit up and show up, and guess what? The answers are provided. Things that I never could imagine, wish, or dream, or pray for, boom, they happen, right? But there has to be a conviction inside, and then there has to be action. We all say, God, lead my steps, lead my steps. Well, then God says, well, move your feet, right? You've got to be willing to take action and step forward with faith and start to change these things. I like to start with these questions. If I was chosen as the one to break the cycles for my family, what actions, skills, or belief systems would I need to adopt to make this happen? Okay, this is very important because the actions, skills, and belief systems that you have right now probably aren't going to cut it. Maybe you need to go to rehab. You need to admit to someone close to you that you're struggling and you desperately need help. Maybe you've got to get your marriage in order. Maybe you need to seek help and say, hey, you know what? My marriage is in shambles. And when I look back at my family history, every marriage has been in shambles. We've never had a successful marriage in our entire family lineage. It's time for me to change that. Maybe you realize you've invested in an area in your life that wasn't producing good health, right? And as a result, you're suffering and you lack all that life has for you to enjoy because your health is poor. You've invested your time and energy into doing things, eating things, participating in things that didn't bring you good health. And now you need to invest your time and energy into things that do bring you good health, like exercise and eating better and developing a more resilient mindset. Taking care of your mind and your body, whatever it is, you've got to be prepared to go all in. Okay, you've got to be willing to become an entirely different person than you are today if you want to get a different result. But I'm telling you, the path will be presented to you if you'll just get up and walk. If you'll just make a decision to fix the area that you don't want your family to be known for anymore, the answers will be given to you. I was recently at a school event for my daughter, and I'm watching her up there, and she's class president or fifth grade president of the entire fifth grade, right? By the time I was in fifth grade, I was smoking pot. I was fighting every day. I was getting suspended from school. I took a swing at my principal one time when I got paddled and nearly got me expelled and kicked out of elementary school permanently. And here I am, I'm watching my daughter, and she's just the most beautiful, kind, respectful, hardworking little girl. And she's the president voted by her peers to be the president of the fifth grade. I'm so proud of her for that. But I'm watching her, and she's passing out these awards, and she's up there with all these pictures of all these accomplishments that she has, and I'm like, man, what a contrast. Like, what a contrast. And this makes me emotional because it's like, dang, man, it's because I struggled through some of the things that I struggled through, and fortunately, as of today, I've come out on the other side of those things, and I can look back and I can go, you know what, Jay, you broke the cycle, dude. You broke the cycle. Like, because of the decisions that you made, because you decided to keep fighting and to make the corrections where you went wrong, now all of a sudden this little girl will never know what you knew. They'll never be in the chaos and that you had to be in. They'll never suffer from the things the decisions that I made, right? Or that my mom made, or that my dad made, or that my grandparents made, or that anybody else, right? Everybody did the best they could with what they can do. But as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, man, what a contrast. This little girl is young, she's hungry, she's ambitious, she's kind, she's so special. And anybody knows her, well, of course she's my daughter, right? But anybody knows her will tell you she is the sweetest little thing and wants to help everybody and has a super caring and kind heart. And here I was, angry and rebellious and kicking out the taillights of my, family's cars. And remember one day I kicked in the screen door glass and broke it everywhere. I busted windows. I was such an angry, rebellious child. But as I look back, that was other people in my family too. Angry, broken, resentful. And I had the opportunity to break the cycle. And guys, this is what drives me. I talk all the time about find a why that makes you cry. And this is the thing that makes me cry. When I think about this, I want my kids to experience and have opportunities that I never had. And you can do that too, guys. Whatever the situation is in your life, even if you are grown and your kids are grown and there's no kids around anymore, you still have the ability to change the entire trajectory of your family lineage by getting something in order that no one else could get in order. Right? If you just decide to take action. And so I want to encourage you today, if there's something burning inside of you, if you're just not happy with the way things are going, if you're just not satisfied with what your family name represents and stands for, then you can make a change. And I encourage you to find out whatever the skills, the actions, the mindsets that you'll need to do that, and you start pressing in, because it's a really beautiful thing. I'm grateful to be called the one. I'm going to continue to take action and move forward. I'm going to continue to grow and change and evolve and try to leave an impact on the world that otherwise, had I continued down the cycle and the path that was not broken, I would never have the opportunity to do. I'm thankful that God chose me as the one. I'm thankful, if you're listening to this podcast, that God also chose you as the one. And I hope you'll answer the call. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you liked it, please share. And I look forward to chatting with you guys on the next episode.